I just want to share something quickly. It's something that I want to talk about, something that is happening with Christians these days. My name is Anselm. Thank you. Welcome to God's Matters of Work. It's the book of Luke chapter 11, Luke chapter 12. When we read, we find out there's a story about a young man, a man who had to interrupt the Messiah. We do not know who this man was, whether he was a rich man, whether his family was poor or rich. All that we know about him is that he was a recipient of some good potentials, opportunities in life. Yet for some reason, this man felt cheated. Felt cheated in life. He felt cheated by someone who should have been his brother, a friend, and a relative. The story and the feeling of this man has experienced is actually present. His experience is actually present, and is presented with some hard facts of life. Let us take a look at some of those facts. And today, looking at some of those facts, I'm going to have to talk about the first fact is that the people you know can cheat on you. The people that you think you know can cheat on you, especially when they have the opportunity. The signs are actually seen earlier in the family as children. When playing a simple game, most children want to outcompete each other. In our reading, there was a brother. This brother was known as someone. This someone was among the thousands of persons listening to the Messiah, but his mind was preoccupied with one thing. He had seen an opportunity to be redeemed from the situation of unfair advantage. The Messiah was his opportunity to be redeemed from this unfair brother that has denied him equal share in his inheritance. I can tell you about being cheated out of inheritance. In 2003, my dad passed away. I got a call from one of my brothers about retrieving our family's financial legacy. I was presented with convincing stories, and I risked my honor and permitted him to withdraw the funds, but I later realized and discovered that he had squandered that share of mine without informing me. His ground was that he had invested the money in a business. Somehow I felt insulted out of trust. I was not ready to make a battle and rivalry out of money and inheritance. I have seen sibling rivalry all just because someone in the family felt cheated. You see, in life you do not always get what you deserve. Sometimes you get less than you deserve. Sometimes you get more than you deserve. Isn't it interesting that as Christians, when we get what we do not deserve, we say that it is the favor of God and are quick to give testimonies. But when things are not in our favor, we feel cheated and cry foul, and will disturb the ears of those who care to listen, or not because we feel that justice must be done. This man in our story, this someone, is in our experience of everyday life. We can find him everywhere. He could be that widow that has lost her husband, and all the relatives are turning out against her to claim the properties that she and her husband have hardly worked for. My paternal grandmother told us about the struggle that she went through. She said that if she had not given birth to a male child, she would have been cheated out of inheritance. This someone could also represent a colleague at work who feels that the systems of work is not fair to them and will go trying to preach their relevance at the expense of disparaging and demeaning other colleagues on the altar of slander and backsliding and backbiting. I have had a colleague like that, but there is one that is actually a classic case in all this type of colleague. At the end, this person made almost all the colleagues in the office his mortal enemies. And at the end, he was dismissed. As a matter of fact, there is a pandemic spreading around across our workplace all around the world. Employees of all types are affected by this very pandemic. It's even though we claim that we are not, the symptoms are glaring in our face, but we do not really seem to be bothered except when it bites us. You may be asking, what is this workplace pandemic? This workplace pandemic or epidemic is workplace politics. It is distrust of leadership. It is unfair competition. The consequence is that At the end, we end up with three categories of persons in the workplace. We have those who are smiling indeed, those who are suffering and smiling, and those who are not smiling at all. We could go on and on. Here in the story that we've just read, here we have another reality of life. The reality is that we don't always get what is due to us. Let me tell you a real life instance. One of my colleagues was due for promotion. He deserved it, but he didn't get it. I bet he will never know what really happened. The shocking truth in this instance is that it was someone unrelated, someone in the HR department that actually worked out against it. Sadly, he was made to believe that it was a certain HR and admin boss that stood against it. So sad also is that that same colleague, the HR and admin boss, will always never know what has happened. This colleague on the other side who deserved the promotion and never got it will always have the wrong impression of the HR and admin boss. While that impression will be buried there and the negative feelings will be there, it is someone that he interacted with on a daily basis that was actually the enemy cheating him out of purpose. I don't know what you are facing in life, but people are there. You are likely to be cheated. What do you do when you feel cheated? Do you go around crying foul, trying to do justice, trying to get what you want? I've seen churches collapse because they felt they were cheated and they wanted to take the cause of the law in their hand, fighting tooth and nail, using every system. What does the Bible tell us? When someone slaps you on the left cheek, turn the right cheek, move to the other side. Someone take a cloak from you, give them the next thing, go on. If someone asks you to go 1 mile, go 2 miles. The Bible is asking us to learn, to understand, and to go on when long suffering is calling us in. We don't always have to be right in our own senses. The Messiah himself was like that. It is this sense of rightness, of always trying to be right, that makes a lot of persons don't see the Messiah's sheep. They don't see the blood, they don't see the life of the Messiah that was shed for us. We say we are broken and contrite, but we hear people say, that's just the way I am, I can't let things go. If we must learn to be able to be a representative and ambassador of the Messiah in our workplace, we need to understand these very bits of life. We are in a system that will cheat us, especially because of our Christianity, that will hate us and take advantage of us. But we need to understand these things and their do should never cheat us out of the purpose of the cross for us, of the purpose of the Messiah for us. We should not let the things of this world cheat us out of the purpose, life that God has called us to drive ourselves towards. God bless you.